there is 1 minute remaining, you will see the sign here. Say 1 minute left, and the staff will say time when the time is up, and all presentation and Q&A must be stopped. Before we start, let me introduce you our judges. First, from my left to the right. First, Khun Punat is institutional research from KTB Securities. Second, Khun Biatida, senior equity research from NTSF. Third, Khun Ataporn, former head of research, UOB Security. Fourth, Khun Jin Pai, equity research, UOB Securities. Now you can start when you are ready, and the timer will start right after you first.
In the previous chapter, BDM's growth was driven by the acquisition. However, we are now witnessing the new chapter of the firms. After achieving the goal of 50 hospitals, left people asking, 50 hospitals? Then what's next? Could the company deliver their impressive performance even after they stop doing acquisition? Good morning, honorable judges and dear investor. Today, we are recommending a buy on BDMS stock. Based on the market price at 23.8 baht and our target price at 28.2 baht, there is 18% upside while the downside is limited. BDMS has gone through the aggressive acquisition and greenfield to become the largest hospital network in Thailand. These enable BDMS to be the market leader, while other competitors are just small players. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that these are the 3 key reasons why new chapter of BDMS deserve our buy recommendation. First, the EBITDA margin improvement from the past investment. Second, it is in the best position to capture the future demand. And to confirm the attractiveness of BDMS, our valuation confirmed that the high upside potential with limited downside. Now, I will pass on to my colleague to walk you through the new chapter of BDMS.
The first one is to reap on what they have sown in the past. We forecast a 4% improvement in EBITDA margins over the next 5 years. This is a direct result of the maturity of newly acquired hospitals. We currently have 17 newly acquired hospitals, or the so-called non-mature hospitals, operating at the low levels of margins. As the number of non-mature hospitals declines, the real EBITDA margins is expected to be revealed. Speaking of non-mature hospitals, they were once local hospitals. After their acquiring BDMS, they utilize on its own brand, invest heavily to push up the standards, and lastly, able to triple up the price and command more volume through their brand. This results in the over 300% of top-line growth after a year of acquisitions. And lastly, they're able to manage the margins better for one hospital, not to mention another 17 coming down the pipelines. In short, BDMS can take low-margin hospitals and repetitively rise them up to high profiles. Comparing with the 25% achieved by our lower position peers, this indicates that our valuations were conducted on a conservative basis. We also did a groundwork research on the post-investment phase of Bangkok Prison Road to confirm the critical questions of would there be a demand to utilize the fixed cost. What we saw is that the demand started materializing, and the survey we conduct on the doctors confirms a tripling of price. This is what we saw, but haven't appeared on financial statement yet. Next, moving on to the next point.
Next, our second point is securing future demand. Given 3 industry tailwinds of aging society, health insurance, and medical tourism, healthcare is a very favorable sector. Zooming in, we found that BDMS is in the best position to capture all this demand. Now, let's deep dive into each trend, shall we? First, aging society. By 2040, 1/3 of Thai population will be aged over 60 years old, and these people are changing their spending habit, represented a 6-fold increase in spending on healthcare. And what are these people looking for? They are looking for the best and the nearest healthcare services provided to them. Now, let's look at BDMS. Expertise and presence are their core competency. With hub and spoke network, BDMS will be able to decentralize their advanced equipment as well as their specialization to every single area in Thailand. And this cannot be duplicated by any other competitors. Next, health insurance. Over the past 5 years, the insurance market is almost tripled. With current low penetration rate, we believe that the market still has a big room to grow. On the other side, because of BDM's largest network, exclusive partnership with 3 leading insurance companies is given to BDMS. At the same time, Thailand medical tourism outpaced the global growth rate. Zooming into the country, while JCI Accredited is widely recognized and highly valued by medical tourists, BDMS owns almost a quarter of JCI Accredited hospital in Thailand. Given all these prime position BDMS has, together with the fact that the firm has the largest capacity, 4 times more than the second largest peer, we firmly believe that BDMS is in the best position to capture all these trends. In short, you can buy all these mega trends by buying BDMS.
And next, the affirmative valuations strongly support that BDMS can offer high potential upside with limited downside. We use discounted cash flow as our valuations because it can capture the change in capital structure and recognize all the growth factors. With 7.3 WACC and 2.4 terminal growth, we reached the target price of 28.2 baht, offering 18% potential upside. So the next question is, what are the drivers of this free cash flow to firm, which is the basis of our valuations? We believe there is 3 main factors. The first one, the increase in OPD and IPD figure from the mega trends will drive the figure to increase at 5.4% over the next 5 years, and will increase the utilization rate to 75% in 2023. And this translates to a consistent, strong top-line growth of 8.4% CAGR for the next 5 years. Second, the maturity of non-mature firms will increase the EBITDA margin from currently low level at 21% to be 25.3% in 2023. And lastly, the shift from acquisition-driven growth to be organic growth will reduce the CapEx spending from 50% of operating revenue to be only 7% of operating revenue. This decrease can be done by the fact that company will use the CapEx to maintenance and converting register base to be the other one to support the growth in demand. And the increase in top line growth and EBITDA improvement will increase the cash inflow, and at the same time, the reduce in CapEx will reduce the cash outflow. And this leads to a strong increase of free cash flow to firm of 15% during the next 5 years and justify our valuations. Next, the relative multiple valuation also suggests that BDMS is not expensive compared to peers. Although the current PE and EV/EBITDA suggest that BDMS is higher, however, the forward multiple is lower, which is justified by a higher growth of EBITDA, which is 16.9% compared to peers. And moreover, BDMS is currently traded at a cheaper than itself comparing to the PE average of 5-year history. So it's implied that BDMS is currently cheaper than itself and the peers.
All the 3 points has confirmed high upside opportunity. However, we also concerned about the downside, which happen to be limited. The most impactful risk is the price cap regulation, which will affect our target price depending on the severity of the policy implemented by the government. And with our scenario analysis, BDMS will offer high upside with limited downside. Firstly, the worst case is that there will be price cut and reduce BDMS margin to the break-even point. This makes a target price to be 20.5 baht, which we believe that this case is nearly impossible. Otherwise, the private hospital will have to reduce the quality, which will contradict with Thailand's national plan to be medical hub. However, the more realistic case is the best case that there will be some price cut, but BDMS could adjust itself to the regulation with a target price of 28.2 baht. Lastly, if the situation is still not favorable, it can offer more up to 41% upside. We also sensitize the operating factor to formulate the probability of BDMs stock price according to the risk. The result is that almost 80% that the price will appreciate, representing high upside with limited downside.
In summary, with EBITDA margin improvement and its best position to capture all the demand, we believe that the firm new chapter can deliver the impressive performance. Plus, good news for you, confirmed by our valuation, this is the best time to buy. Thank you for your attention, and the floor is now open for questions.
Question on your base case. So how could BDMs maintain its margin if there's a price control?
Thank you for your question. We already incorporate the price regulation to our model and to our best knowledge. Now the regulation is not finalized yet, and we believe that the regulation will use a long time to finalize it because the government want to find a fair return each item to every hospital, and that will not be the easy way to do it. So, and this is also confirmed by
Adding on that, we have done a thorough research on the successful case of the price regulation in the neighborhood country, and all those 4 countries there's 2 countries that has price cap regulation. However, the price cap regulation has failed. With that, we confirm by the case of the Apollo Hospital, it can offset the price cap impact within 1 year. And the price cap impact is very minimal, that it is only 48 million baht, while the revenue keep rising because the company can adjust itself and implement and increase the price elsewhere where this is not capped.
Thank you.
You mentioned that 1/3 of the Thai population will become elderly. That's a good thing, but I'm wondering whether they actually have purchasing power for expensive private hospitals, because our savings rate is one of the lowest in the region.
Okay, to answer the question, there are 2 points. First, because of BDMs brand is really well established in Thailand, in Bangkok, so we might be misled by the brand, and we think that the brand is so high, it at a high target. But in fact, BDMs has very diverse brand targeted since the middle income to upper income. So, and the second point is that what is going on with our people notice is that Thailand is moving toward the middle age majority country. As you can see from the chart, the middle income is higher and higher over time.
And to add on my colleagues, remember that it's not only just Thai populations that BDMs target, there are some international patients too. And what you can see here is that actually Asia is the majority of middle income, old people driven. So as refer to your questions, old people in Asia tends to have higher spending power elsewhere in the world, indicated by the yellow shape right there.
Do you have a breakdown of patients in terms of nationalities? Yes.
The best thing about BDMs is that BDMs has a very diverse patient base. As you can see from so there are like 19 countries, like each country contribute to only 2% of BDMs patients. So this implies that even one country will change their policies or their politics not good, we will be able to like defensive to this change.
Compared to BH, they're rely more on international patients. So as you can see, when Middle East dropped, their revenue dropped to like growth 0. So I would say BDMs is more defensive.
What do you think is the potential upside from medical marijuana legalization?
I think that given BDMs strong established brands and they were the long time established players, I think they will be one of the first players that will capture these opportunities and utilize them in their network. So if there's like a legalized, I think BDMs will be the first player who jumps in and make use of that. the key competitors would be India, and then North Korea, and then Malaysia, and then Singapore. But I would say that Thailand has the most competitive advantage compared to other countries because we have the lowest cost relative to the qualities. What we can offer is that we have low cost, but yet our qualities is very good compared, confirmed by our JCI numbers that we have over 65 JCI credit numbers. That's like the highest in Asia Pacific countries. Yeah.
And do you think, and do you think in the future China will be stepping into play this industry? China.
Right. So the current situation is that China is not ready to expand the hospital as we have did before. So the influx of demand from patients in China is come to Thailand a lot because they have insufficient healthcare services in their country. And we believe that the expertise use time. BDMS already step ahead and established its brand over many of the disease. So we believe that China will have to use a lot of time to establish as well-known brands as us.
Well, what do you think about the current safety issue of the BDMS that will have any impact on any aspect of the company?
I think firstly, there's Mr. Monoya, who was always there with Mr. Mercer during the acquisition time and prime times of BDMS. So I think with her expertise as the new leaders of the companies, she will be able to carry on what's going on, carry on the good works. And if your questions is concerned about the certainty of the corporate governance that will occur in futures, I would say BDMS actually have a specialized committee established to watch over the corporate governance comparing to BH where they only have the 4 committees. And confirmed again by our backgrounds of the board of directors, they actually work for our Ministry of Finance, which is government backed. So this given a high credibility to the board of directors.
And between the peers of the hospital player in this region, do you think, is there any other of the stock that is more interesting than BDMS?
I would say other peers in Asia Pac, the biggest one come in mind is Apollo and IHH, but given that the trading multiples of them is 67 compared to us, which is 37, so we relatively super cheaper compared to them.
What do you see as a key risk to your revenue forecast?
The key risk to revenue forecast would be price cap regulations, because in the past we can increase, the medical inflations, rising the cost over 5% per year. But with price cap regulations, we actually incorporate that in our base case. And what you see is that we reduce our price increasement from 5% to around 2% over inflation per year, and the valuation still confirms their buying recommendations.
Which deal do you think added the most value for BDMS?
Added the most value? I would say it's networking models, because you see other players such as Bangladesh and stuff undoubtedly good, but what we overbeat them is our expertise and presence. Because what we do is we're one of the major players in expertise in medicals, and what we can do is that we allocate that expertise all over places in time. No one else can duplicate this business model. And when whatever demands come in, this would create a multiplying effects with our networks.
What about the wellness center that after they take over? I think it's the IR is still quite low. What do you think is the view in the future?
We have covered the wellness center in our valuation. However, after we have forecasted it has less than 0.1% on the total revenue contribution. So we regard it as normal one hospital.
So to add on that, the current situation that the latest income survey is saying that the revenue of the wellness center is only 10,000 baht, which is very like less than 0% of the total revenue.
But the investment is quite high. You think it's a bad investment?
For the investment, it's a huge amount on the land, which is not depreciate, and the depreciate one is the asset investment on the building about 2,000 million baht.
And
Please,
okay.
the presentation is complete. You can leave the venue now, and please don't talk to any other teams about the question that Judge already asked for your own benefits. And you will announce the four finalists in this briefing. We will send you a judge